but Ebenezer, you should already be in your safe spot. All the neighborhoods that is just to the east Buena Vista. So coming out of Buena Vista, that same portion here. But Buena Vista, you're safe now. But just to the south of here, this is almost an eastern portion of Marion County. So most of Marion County, all east of 41, you guys are okay. You guys are okay, so no worry there. But if you're in Sly County right now in Sly County, central Sly County, and that is right along US 19 going up north and south, and this area here right along the areas of Wells Crossing and around Georgia State Route 26. That's a long stretch of real rural roadways, and a lot of neighborhoods coming up through here should seek shelter immediately. That would include County Road 7, County Road 8 is to the south, Willie Strahan Road, and that continues all the way out towards the old Buena Vista roadway, what we call here right on Georgia State 26, which does run up to Buena Vista, but that is all southeast of that. Nicole, it looks like it's broad. It looks like it wants to tighten. We've been seeing this all day, but this one is radar indicated at this time. So we're not seeing potentially, in what we have highlighted here on its tornado warning, could actually see some good damaging wind with this as well. Sometimes when it starts to drop a little bit, this lowering cloud. Yeah, and that's what we've been kind of concerned with some of these storms is that in addition to the brief spin up, but also the strong winds. And what we've got going on is I'm going to get out of the velocity and I'm going to go and show you just kind of all the storms that we have. And really what we've been concerned with are the winds gusting up to about 70 miles per hour within this thunderstorm. And it has a lot of lightning as well. Yeah, it does. And that's that's the hazard here. Yeah. The rain is very heavy, folks. It's almost blinding, and it gets a little troubling, especially when you can't see well and don't have good traction right on these open areas here, right along Georgia State Route all the way through here, go up to 236 and traveling all the way up through Marion County, pretty heavy rain. But this is a Sly County issue right now. It's just coming over the county line right now, the circulation. So if you're in Marion County, despite the fact that you might be hearing the sirens, your apps are going off, the threat for a tornado there is out. It's moving in right now as we speak, coming into the county line right here in the Sly County. This is extreme southwest corner of Sly County. Ellaville, you are in that bullseye of the potential damaging wind and even a possible tornado. So that could form at any time. So that's what we look for. Until somebody gives a visual inspection, we have to look at it. Now, I haven't mentioned Sumter County just yet, but Sumter County, this is the northern fringe, and it looks like it's just going to be right on the Sumter County line. So at this time, Americus, you guys are fine. Plains, you're definitely okay. This is, again, where we see the circulation, southwest corner of Sly County, and I would be certainly in Ellaville seeking shelter to play it safe. That's what we do. We want to make sure you get the full planning going on here within the next at least 14 minutes. It's 40 minutes after the hour, so it's moving rather quickly here, Nicole. It's moving east at about 50. Yeah, so that's fast moving. That's very fast. It's being pushed quickly from the complex storms that we've been talking about earlier. If you're watching News 3 at midday, meteorologist Nicole Phillips, you were talking about that as well. Way up to the top here, this is what we've been watching yesterday. This is what we call a convective system of storms. Okay, it's just a big complex storm system, and it's breaking away from a physical front, and there's a lot of energy with it because you have cold air behind it, cool air, drier, and it's very humid. Have you been outside? So that's the ripe ingredients with this two kind of converging together. It's really causing this to move rapidly. We say it starts to elevate, and it's severe. And beyond the severe threat, we're seeing the circulation with it as well. So it's the two systems converging together, causing this to move fast off to the east, as Nicole said. It's almost catapulting here in the atmosphere, and it's spinning. So Ellaville, the threat of damaging wind is right on your back door now, just to the west of US 19, coming into the downtown area. So if we're in this area here, I would say the good news is it's very broad. We don't want to see it kind of tilt going, to the north and south. That would be not good and would tighten up. But it does have the component of producing a tornado at any given time from what we see here. You could see the real bright reflectivity coming on the back edge of this, coming towards radar and away, and that just tells us above the surface, there's some real strong winds up here. Potentially winds up to 60 to 70, a couple thousand feet off the ground. Once you get to the surface, if this does manifest, this thunderstorm could actually produce, and there's a lot of lightning with this, by the way. We have it turned off now for the sake of us dissecting the system so we could see where it is exactly. It could certainly drop a lot of wind at any time. It could burst out. Nicole.
So there may have been a brief tornado.
Okay, so somebody spots them. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's put the correlation coefficient on. What we're doing is we're gonna see if there's any debris, and it's hard to see in this exact thing, so we're gonna look closely, and it would probably, if it was a brief tornado, was that in Marion County, it looks like.
Yeah.
If there was something. So let's look back at Marion County, and that's what prompted the warning.
Yeah, let's go back here a little bit.
It's so, okay, there could have been something right through here, just to the west of Georgia State 41. This is just what we see anomalous data. There's not much. We got to look for something that would be closely linked to where the circulation is, and maybe beyond if it was lofted a little bit in the air. But there could be a little bit there. So you heard Nicole say it earlier. You get weak spin-up tornadoes. A weak spin-up tornado, easy for me to say. It can knock down rip a roof off a house. It can knock trees over in no time, and it can come right back up in the clouds again. So what we're looking at, the same system that what we say as meteorologists, very broad, that's in our favor for not seeing a tornado per se, but the warning's there because either, as Nicole just said, there was actually somebody either spotted one or saw something that was coming out of Marion County. This is in Sly County now. If you're in Marion County, if you're in Sumter County, you're okay. The warning goes there. The polygon descends a little bit farther south until we have better evidence what's going on. We will watch, however, right around the county line, right along Georgia State Route 30 in northwest corner of Sumter. There's a little circulation there, too. You get some wake lows that form on that. But this right here, around 151, which is really south of Ellaville, which comes into the whole metroplex there. I say, I'll give you guys that little plug. It's the big city here for us. But a lot of our residents here were concerned about you just to hunker down till this passes through and moves off to the east rapidly towards Andersonville, which Nicole has here, trekking at to 1256. So you're talking about within 10 minutes, this is out of the news reviewing area. So we'll be on this for the next 10 minutes, soap opera watchers here for a second to make sure our viewers are safe. So it continues to move around the panhandle here, and it'll go into the Macon County area, and that's for our Macon County television stations. We'll pick it up from there. No one will be watching us at that point. So for you watching right now, Sly County, southwest to central west portion of the county, moving towards Ellaville, 19 area, north and south, west of 19, and not any issues here in Sumter County. If you're in Marion County, it's clear, even though the warning still shows, because it'll take a second for it to expire. This is only a Sly County event right now. I want to point that out. I don't know what else. You see anything else on that potential tornado, Nicole?
I don't, and I don't have any. It looks to have dissipated, which is exactly what we are seeing as well.
Gotcha.
But I would still, if you do live in Ellaville or along Highway 19, I would definitely still be in my safe spot. At least for the next 10 minutes. Because again, it is moving east at about 50 miles per hour, which in terms of tornadoes, that's pretty fast.
It is. It really is. And that's when it comes suddenly upon you. So when you see us on the air first, you got to make sure that you take the warning seriously. Be prepared. This is about preparing right now. So at this juncture, we don't have anything confirmed. And with our technology here, we're not seeing anything that would have me like trouble. But I do see at any time this could tighten. So there's still potential. We do see perhaps a little debris there earlier. It could have been very quick. Not a heavily wooded area. There's some woods here coming out of Marion County, but it could pick up some trees. I think a lot of that's anomalous, but it does seem some brightening though, but I don't see anything that just glares out at us that there's anything that's physically on the ground at this time. So that's good news. So the area here is very, very broad again. You got some areas along here. Ellaville probably has some good winds just to the south. You could see the northern periphery of the wide scale, we call a mesocyclone, way up in the atmosphere, is spinning. All thunderstorms spin. And occasionally you'll get that vertical rotation and it'll drop a tornado. We're starting to see, it's Nicole's Highland. It's interesting, Nicole, you just put this on here because you can see right along the side, we're seeing a little bit of tightening here right now. And that's why we have the warning. So where we see this, it might be, even though the accelerated winds way up through Ellaville and the northern part of this, it's really southwest of Ellaville and not as far down as Georgia State 30, but as you come down outside of right now, if you get it right around 150, I'd say State Route 152 right now, this area here, coming all the way down right around County Road 55 in Southwest, right in this area right here. So that's what we're looking at there. So now it's even south of Ellaville, the threat of a potential tornado. So if you're in Ellaville right now, still take shelter because this whole system is right upon you. And we're going to be watching in the extreme eastern portion of Sly County. If you're anywhere right now, and you know where one State Route 152 is and over towards the east, let's seek shelter as fast as you can there. And we'll watch this as it continues to go into the county. Now it looks like it's dipping maybe into Sumter County right now. So
let's see here.
even though I told you earlier, Sumter County, now the line, they said we'll watch that southern line. That's why I said that. You can see now we do have an observed tornado, confirmed tornado. So that confirmed tornado is coming right on the county line. So that county line is northern Sumter and southernmost areas of Sly. So if you're in Ellaville, the confirmed tornado is just somewhere between south of Ellaville, and we'll be watching some rotation to the south there at the county line. But again, we could see it. It's pretty broad. And with that being said, it's rain wrapped pretty good too. It's not your classical bounded echo region, if you will, but what we look at is to see if there's a lot of rain wrap here, and never go outside to try to see what you can see. But I'm wondering, this confirmed tornado came out of Marion County, it dipped a little bit and excelled back up. I think I wonder if we lock onto Warner Robins at all after you, I know you're doing.
Hold on, let me see.
Yeah, and right now what you're doing, Nicole's trying to detect where this debris is. It is awfully fragmented, but if you're south, Ellaville, you should be in your safe spot, and southwest of that. If you're in eastern Sly County, I can see it now a little bit better here. There you go. We finally got a better reading. Just clear all that other radar off, and maybe it's best on Warner Robins now as it's moving towards the radar, southwest of that radar. Fort Rucker was on it, I think, earlier. I think we're seeing a better read right now.
Yeah.
So this is it right here. So here's Ellaville. You're not in the tornado. The tornado is somewhere right around here. We got a little bit of little tightening, and I'm assuming right there in that area is a tornado. It looks like on the back, this whole broad circulation, but it appears to see a little bit of rotation on either side of that, but that still looks like where it's intersecting. So south of Ellaville, it's now coming into areas, you can see that trajectory. I guess if we put up, go ahead and we'll do like a street analysis there, and we'll take it to Andersonville around the Panhandle there once we come into Macon County. So I'm looking at northern, a lot of wind coming out of the storm. Especially some real good strong gusts up, maybe up to 35 to 40 coming up northwest of Americus. Americus, you're okay right now. Marion County, you're clear. This is now south of Ellaville, going towards Andersonville. But we do have a confirmed tornado, and it doesn't matter how strong it is weak. It looks weak, it doesn't matter. We want to take shelter quickly here. As fast as it's moving, and as Nicole is, we're trying our best to get it in anything in between. Andersonville takes it coming up at the top of the hour. It's 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, it's out of Sly County at the rate that it's traveling. So here's US 19 northbound, southbound going into Sumter County, moving rapidly towards the east. Pennington's in there, a lot of you folks there. There are some folks that pick us up in the La Crosse area, of course. You guys are in there, and Andersonville. So if you're in La Crosse, and this is what I'm saying, you should seek shelter, get into the lowest interior section of your home. It's been a while, enough walls between you and the outside. If you've got trees around you and that sort of thing, we want to make sure that you're safe, because this can produce some damage if it comes in here, especially if it is observed. So sources was observed by this, and again, you could see if it's coming in and out, it's a weak tornado, and it's still obviously rotating in this area here at this point. So we do have a tornado. Hard to see if that's a debris signature or not. I don't think so. And it might be. It might be. We have to wait for some scans to come in here, but that looks really hard to detect, especially southwest of that. But if there is debris in there and it looks clustered and it is right along that area, perhaps that is a bit of debris. And again, this is kind of a lot of agriculture here getting to the south and moving rapidly towards La Crosse. So if you're in La Crosse, seek shelter immediately in the east-southeast corner of Sly County right now as it continues to march off towards the east, towards Andersonville, which will be putting it right almost towards Andersonville or just south of that. And it's possible with that system to the north, this may start sliding a little bit more south and east, and it may come into more northern Sumter County.
Yeah, that's what it looks like it's trying to do. It looks like that energy is pushing it down, and it looks like it's trying to recycle as well.
Right. And what we see is when they cycle like that, that's why we stay with it here on News 3. People wonder, to say it and get off? No, because it's constantly moving and evolving. We will never get off until the storm threat is out of your area. because as it lifts back up in the clouds, it descends and it lifts. It keeps doing that. And that's what we're seeing with this particular storm right now. Tremendous amount of lightning. A lot of lightning here too, folks, because there's a fire hazard here and a lightning threat too, as this heavy rain is kind of disguising the circulation if you were to see with the visual eyes. But somebody did observe it. The source is observed. We do have hail with this too, and we've actually had physical pictures. We've had hail reports already. We have seen that. And again, that hail is certainly a factor as well. And again, we're saying up to about 1 o'clock it should be out of the news reviewing area. It is 52 minutes after the hour. We have about 8 minutes left. If you're in the northeast, we're not leaving our Sumter County residents out here. The Panhandle area, once you get through Andersonville, I want you guys to seek shelter now. La Crosse, the same thing. We're going to get in the lowest section of a building or dwelling. Again, the rotation may be broad, but you see it kind of wrapping back up around this way. This is just what we say is a textbook, real strong mesocyclone. It's circulating in the atmosphere way high up. So if you were to get probably a couple thousand feet off the surface, there's some very strong winds. And why it does this is because the air is moving so fast up to the north. It's causing it to literally spin in the atmosphere. So it's being driven by that system to the north, and that's why we're weather aware today. We're saying any of this can kick up at any time. The atmosphere is very prime, and it's supporting this very heavy rain, and it's also supporting the energy along with it. So we look back at the debris detector. That's our name for it, fancy. The meteorological phrase is a correlation coefficient. And again, it's very hard to see if there's anything. And there's a lot of sparse land here, but I know a lot of our communities here. I know a lot of you folks down here too. And it's right along, it looks like a little tightening too that could be coming up right here along the county line of Sumter County and southernmost part of Sly County right now, where Nicole is highlighting right now. And we're going to start seeing counties to the north. I'm getting my indicator here of tornado watches expiring north to south. So that's some good news on Nicole. But the tornado watch is still here along this line as it continues to move farther south in our southernmost counties. So that's what we're looking at. Once this moves out, the threat's not gone. We still have more energy to the north and west. So this is still ongoing, unfortunately, as you could see here. So heavy rain, torrential, lightning, dangerous, a confirmed tornado that came out of Marion County. We're seeing it, as Nicole said, cycling. It keeps going in and out. And that's why the First Alert Weather Team is tracking this for you until it's completely out. Why not go to street level, Nicole? I can't, just to get in that southwest corner down by the county line. And we can kind of see right here, it's still right in this area here. This is just a very broad circulation. But it is trying to tighten up. So in the center of this too, even though this is the whole area that's actually circulating in the atmosphere, so that's the damaging wind component to it, you could see the enhancement, the elevated part of the storm is producing all this lightning and hail. So that is the hazard for sure for everybody right now, is that lightning and hail. And in the midst of all this, there's a little tightening, so this could be descending. So if you're looking, they call it like sometimes like a UFO, the sky looks like it's rotating above and you see it descending. The center of it could be dropping a tornado here, and that was a confirmed tornado that prompted right now this tornado warning as it's right along the state line as it moves eastward. And you could see this enhancement right here. You could see right where it is. I mean, it is riding southern Sly and it's riding northern Sumter. Old Andersonville Road residents seek shelter immediately from Bumphead Road to Andersonville, the city, all the way down to Aries, I would say, as well, as we get into Sumter County. You could see the streets. It is a little bit more populated here, too, as it's rolling through, guys. So if you're in a panhandle around the old Andersonville area here, road that continues up to Andersonville, this is all towards the east of 49, Georgia State Route, in the panhandle of Sumter County, not affecting you in Americus now, because I know Americus residents are like, what about us? You're fine. This is just to the north, but we're going to watch it. If you're in Americus, so stay tuned, because the system seems like it's falling a little bit south, southeast, and there's a possibility, Nicole, I would suspect that this tornado polygon is going to come down to New Era and Upper River Road in Marvin. So if you were in those areas, I'd seek shelter immediately. Even though the polygon may not be in your area, that is probably taking more of a dip. We're going to kind of get ahead of this track.
Let me see.
Yeah, it's moving southeast as she puts it in motion. So we're going to watch the circulation. So Sumter County, northeast Sumter County, I would all seek shelter immediately. And that's as far east, northeast now, from Pennington to areas about Methvins, and that is all northeast of Americus. So Americus, you're not in it, but the system is having a tendency to drift farther south and east because we have a complex system up to the north that's driving us farther south and east right now. It was due east, now it's going a little bit of a southeast trajectory. And you can see that right where 819 is right now. We have tornado warnings too in central Georgia too. So just to show you how much energy is being thwarted off to the east. So here we are right now. We're going to keep tracking that. Confirmed tornado ascends, descends, ascends, descends. It's cycling. So you may not see a tornado at every given spot, but it keeps forming and it's going into different areas every time we look at this. So it's important that everyone pay close attention to this as well.
You can definitely tell that.
Yeah.
Well, at least on this latest radar scan, it doesn't look as impressive as it did on the last one. But you can definitely tell it is tightening up, and it would be right in that.
There. Yeah, it's right in the center of the upper rotation of that broad rotation. So it's a strong storm, strong thunderstorm. So as it continues right along that state line, it looks like now. It's literally hugging the county line. I said state line, pardon me, county line, and it is moving east at a rapid pace, as we just said. So if we track that at the trajectory we're looking at, that would put it in New Era about 104, Pennington area about 107, and the Methvins area just past or just before 10 minutes after the hour. And this, of course, is Eastern time. This is not in Alabama right now. Alabama will get there. There's some folks that I'm getting messages here. How are we over here? If we're not on the air talking about you, that means you have nothing to worry about. We're focused on this. This is the area we're looking at right now. So observed tornado from a source that came out from areas, of course, right out of Marion County, and it's moving in and out of cycling. So there's obviously, you could see when you get the resolution, when we pull back out of this, it seems to be a little bit more clear to the naked eye where we're seeing that rotation. And we are locked on Warner Robins right now. Is that right at level 2? So we're on Warner Robins, and it is moving fast. So eventually, it's going to be cutting across that northeast portion and now moving a little bit south of that. You could see into northeast Sumter County, and you can see that polygon, and it's a little bit farther north. Now, beyond that scope, not leaving you out, Ellaville, you're beginning to clear. You did have a severe thunderstorm conditions there, and that's up to the north. So there are severe thunderstorm conditions that are now moving towards east and leaving you right now. So western Sly County, you're looking good. Marion County, you still got thunderstorm activity in northern Marion County into areas around Taylor County and Talbot County, I should say. More Taylor County in the Mock area all the way up to Harris County. But south is what we're looking at as it moves this cluster of thunderstorms. And included in that, one in particular is wrapping tight, coming towards Andersonville, and you could see that. So it's south of Andersonville now, the observed tornado that was there earlier. It's not clear if it still is observed.
I've not heard of any updates on that, and I do know that they said that the reason why we do have the observed tag, and it looks like they just, so that's some good news.
Yes, with tornado possible.
But we still have tornado possible, though, which means that at any given moment, we could see this really tighten back up, and then we could have another brief tornado. So we still have this for Marion, Schley, Sumter County, and that will be until now 1:15. With this thunderstorm warning and this tornado possible.
Yeah, and I think due to the fact that this is cycling on and off, and there's a lot of folks here, if you're south of Andersonville, northeast Sumter County, we're going to stay on this for you. Now the confirmed tornado is back out. Now, if I see this for the next few scans, the good news is this is now all flowing in one direction. So we see that real dark green here, folks. It means the air is moving this way, and we're not seeing that real dramatic circulation. Now, it could start to rotate again, and as I said earlier, it's interesting how this is flowing out this way. So that could just be outflow winds now forming, hopefully not as strong as severe, and eventually we'll be watching this. It doesn't have much more of a lifespan here as it moves quickly out of Sumter County, and then eventually going into Macon, and our viewing area there would be turned over to Macon, Georgia. So we're almost out of this, but we're going to hang on to it here for our viewers here. You're catching us here on News 3, whether you're catching us over the air or broadband or on cable, we got you covered over here, or on News 3, WRBL.com. So it's moving quickly. Now, East Alabama, there's still more activity coming in here. And this is not severe, but south of Tuskegee. This is Macon County, Alabama, not Georgia. In Bullock County down near Union Springs, you guys just have a thunderstorm. So I had a few people East Alabama, saying those are just thunderstorms right now. But we are watching them and making sure nothing gets a little worse here. Russell County, just some stray shower and maybe a rumble of thunder. You could see this defined line coming into Auburn. You just had a strong wind gust. See that little line here? That's what we call outflow winds. And it picks up in red. That's not even rain, but that's an outflow boundary. As the air descends, it's all blown out of these storms from the north. So we kind of get an idea of what's happening here. A lot of thunderstorms to the north are moving southward into Lee County, coming out of Chambers, Valley, Lynette. Troop, you're clear. Harris, you don't have severe weather right now. But as Nicole's indicating with these arrows here, that's how strong this is. That wind is spreading out. You know, those winds could be up to as far away, 50 miles away, 60 miles away, could be up to 20 to 30 mile an hour gusts from that. And they can sometimes excel all the way up to 40. So we could have some significant weather through here is what we would call it. And again, that could be damaging too as well.
Yep.
So the
we
tornado
have,
warning, yeah. So we back to that tornado warning now. They just reissued it. And now it is in northeast, as we just said. It would be northeast. See how it tightened up again. This is why we didn't get off and return to programming. Now you understand, folks at home. So we're now back, because we're watching it's tightening up once again. It's in that cycling phase, so occasionally it keeps coming up and down. And if you're in northeast, anywhere northeast Sumter County, seek shelter immediately. If you're on the Macon County and Sumter County line in northeast Sumter County, seek shelter immediately. Again, tornado at any given time could descend. And we'll probably even get a street level too as well. But at this point, if you're in Andersonville, you're okay. It's still very gusty windy. I wouldn't go outside. I would just hold on. It's just south of you here. You could see that broad rotation. So that would be Georgia Highway 49. It's almost on top of it. Pennington residents right now, Georgia State Route 195, seek shelter immediately from Pennington towards the east, headed all the way towards Watermelon right over here road, which goes out of the county line into Macon County, Georgia. So 195 moving off to the east. That's that Sam Bradley Road area that cuts all the way up just to the east of Pennington. Make sure you take your safe spot immediately. There's a lot of residents here. We have a lot of agriculture, a lot of our farming, agricultural friends here all the way through here. That's an open area, and it's just south of Pennington now. But Pennington, you still got that broad rotation, still a lot of winds behind it, and it is pretty broad. You can see now what's happening here. You got a lot of strong wind gusts, certainly coming up towards Byronville, but that's just getting out of our area. That's in Macon County. So Nicole's tracking it at street level here. We don't have a lot of towns that's like labeled through here, but we do have roads. So even with that being said, we'll leave our track up, and you'll know that these roads all the way through here need to be watched completely as we exit out of the county. So moving fast across the county line, right in this trajectory. So if you're south of Pennington, that's where the potential tornado could be, and it's moving off towards the east rapidly, intersecting with some very strong damaging wind threat here as it continues to move into central counties of Georgia. So our Sly County residents, Marion, you're clear. Sumter County northeast is what we're watching. You're under a tornado warning, but we don't see it as a physical tornado yet. We will watch back here,
I was
Nicole.
going to say, I think
that might
yes.
be where that new warning came out too. We do have
It might be we may have multiple
vortices.
Yeah,
we have multiple vortices along this line. So what makes it tricky for the meteorologists here, and that's why we're constantly looking at this right along this entire line. There's multiple, we say vortices or circulation. So I think now if you're on Georgia State Route 49, another one forming potentially, again, Americus, you're not in this. It's northeast of Americus, and we're still focused on northeast Sumter County. And Sly residents, Sly County, you are good. I would say you're cleared now. If you're in Sly County, Ellaville, you're good. So folks in Ellaville are like, am I good? You're good. But not northeast of Americus, right south of the Sly County, the southeast corner there, the panhandle of Americus or Sumter County, moving off towards the east. It looks like we have another tornado potential forming, and that's where the polygon has elongated here, and that still has a little bit of a track to go once it goes through Methvins, and then it's out of here. So we got multiple vortices spinning. That first one just exited out, so that's the first round, which potentially had a confirmed tornado, and I think that's the one that's out of here now. We have a new one forming right here now, right along the county line and going into the northeast part. Look at the areas here. So we can get a little street level now. Let's stop. Yeah, this is perfect. Freeman Road area, you should be seeking shelter immediately. Sam Bradley Road here, north of New Era. That's that area, we call that area, that subdivision. It's been here quite some time. The vicinity, Upper River Road, north and east. Again, all east of Georgia State Route 49, east of 49, just so you know. Northeast of Sumter County, and that's where it's going to be. Methvins, you're still in that path. So if you're in Methvins, I would actually seek shelter immediately. All the neighbors in here. We can even track down on these roads because you got Neil Hodges Road here area. I would be seeking shelter immediately. So Neil Hodges Road, north and south, where it intersects all the way back down into New Era, seek shelter immediately. This whole area, at any given time, the circulation could produce an isolated tornado. And that is moving quickly towards the county line off to the east in Macon County. And Upper River Road, northeast of that as well. So you can see that off to the west here on the screen as we keep it on street level. We have Methvins in here about 110. So you got 3 minutes, Methvins, 3 minutes that a potential tornado could develop. This is almost, there's only about a 10-second delay on this radar, roughly right now, which is, we're looking at we're looking at vertical velocity, which shows us the inside of the storm and circulation. So that's moving quickly, so we want you to keep that in mind. So New Freeman Road area, how this is straight right out this way. It's riding parallel to that just now, east, southeast, and that's Upper River Roads in that. If you're in Middle River Road in northeast Sumter County, seek shelter immediately too. So that's all coming up east of Georgia State Route 195. And anything else that you see on there as well?
I don't have any, we don't have any confirmation of anything.
Good.
And that's some good news, but still, just with the rotation that we are seeing, it could be any moment that we do have something, because again, this storm has had a history of producing just a brief tornado.
Yeah.
I want to zoom this out here, and I want to go into click over, show you just how much rain and also lightning that we have. So good indication that we've got a severe storm, obviously, but with just all of this rain. So even if there is something, it's going to be hard to see. And then with the lightning as well. But I mean, we've kind of got here a little classic hook trying to develop with the storm.
You see the back edge of that, yeah.
And I'm going to zoom it out here, and I might even take off some of this lightning just to kind of get a better view of this. So yeah, we do have what we call, just a classic hook. And typically you see this out in the plains a lot with tornadoes, but sometimes when we get them in some of these complex of storms, we can get these as well. But it looks like here, that's what we've got going on. So I'm going to switch back over to velocity.
Yeah. So there's your TVS right there as it wraps this way. Yeah, so it's coming back around here, as Nicole said, and it's still hanging on its grip here in extreme northeast. Now, if you're in Andersonville, you're out of the circulation of a potential tornado. It's south of there. Nicole's putting some debris signature on it to see if it picked anything up yet. Nothing's confirmed out here, and it's now moving east-southeast a little bit. There it is, and you're seeing some strong winds really excelling ahead of that too as well. But it is interesting how that's wrapping up. So that's such a big, wide, what we call just a huge mesocyclone, and it's starting to wrap back around. I know I was thinking of 3D volumetric. I'm just curious to see high up. Earlier when we were detecting them before midday, these storms were reaching about 40,000 feet, at least the top of the nimbus cloud. Center of it was about 30,000 feet, the core of these storms. So they're strong thunderstorms, and they could produce obviously some hail and lots of lightning, a lot of static electricity in this. So it's a lot of energy with the storm and a lot of rotation with it right now. It is almost out of the News 3 viewing area. We still got viewers that are still watching, and I want to see how this behaves. As Nicole said, you know, whether the radar is just lagging a little bit, it looks like it's just right to the back, but this is the area right here that we're looking. You can see where the severe threat continues to the north from Andersonville moving off to the east. That is, you have a considerable amount of rain right now. So Andersonville, you have just strong gusts, wind gusts right now, potentially that some of those could get pretty strong. But the tornado threat, again, is more off to north and east. I like to, you know, even you can see that radar coming in Americus now. Americus, that's just some heavy rain and a thunderstorm that's starting to develop there. We got a little thunder northeast of Americus. But again, that circulation has been dynamic. Is right here. It's now passing the county line right through here. And there's kind of, like we said, a couple multiple vortices, we'd say, like this Methvins. Right now, you're right over, we don't have a confirmed tornado, but if you have any threat, if you're in the Methvins area, if you're in the Reeves Lug area. If you're in, of course, the pool, again, this is the House Road, Ginn House Road, all the way to Reeves Landing. Please seek shelter immediately as it starts to move into Macon County, Georgia. They're still looking at Sumter County here, and from Reeves Landing all the way off towards the east. Middle River Road, you're okay. You're clear. It's all to the north of you right now. If you're from Upper River Road, New Era, west into Sumter County, you guys are good. And it also, again, includes Americus. We're still okay in that area. Georgia State Route 27, this is all north of you, so you're good at this point, but we're still watching those two areas. So the first one's passing into Macon County. We got one more area of circulation. This is southeast of Methvins right now. This is where we're seeing a circulation that could potentially produce a tornado at this time as it continues its journey in just a few more miles before it exits out of Sumter County, right around the Penny's Bluff area, as you can see there. And that exits the county at that juncture. But it's moving rapidly. And again, this would be the last portion of this particular storm. And I think a wide view will show you, because if you're in here, you definitely want to seek shelter immediately. You could see it a little bit more clear what we're looking at. So at this point, broad circulation. And maybe a little tightening at times, cycling. So you're clear, even though we're still seeing that. It hasn't expired yet, but Marion County, you are clear from severe weather. Sly County, you're clear from any severe weather. Buena Vista, you do have another line of showers and storms to your north that could intensify a little bit here, but that's more significant variety. Still take it seriously. It's a lot of lightning. I would stay indoors. Everybody in Talbot County, nothing but scattered showers and thunderstorms embedded here. Got some gusty winds developing right from Lee County, draped all the way through Harris County, from Hamilton to Pine Mountain, moving southeast towards Waverly Hall and Ellerslie. Those are just strong winds right now. That's not severe. And as we see it drifting farther south, it's starting to energize in southern Macon County, Alabama, not Georgia, Tuskegee southward. So Tuskegee, you're clear. Hurtsboro, just keep in mind there's some good thunderstorm development here. Midway, Union Springs, seeing a really good thunderstorm at this time. And I don't mean good in that variety. I mean, it's a heavy thunderstorm, so we should say. Nothing good about a thunderstorm when it's harmful, but it is producing some beneficial rain for some of these areas here that need it. But at this time, that's what we're seeing. So once this leaves here out of Sumter County, tornado warning, we should be pretty close. And it's starting to go in its southern portion of the polygon. How about that? It's still drifting south and east a little bit. So if you're in Americus now, you're definitely clear of that, but there's still really good circulation here and potential damaging wind with this tornado warning. This is right to the south part of this polygon. This is well east of Americus now, moving into Drayton at about 23 minutes after. It's 14 minutes after now. So in 9 minutes, Drayton, there could be a potential of strong damaging winds or maybe even a tornado. I think that's what we're seeing right now on that.
Yeah.
So we'll let that cycle a couple more times out of here. And if, like folks in Vienna, if there's anybody in there knows anybody as well, too, they'll be picking it up from Macon County. And that'll be Macon, Georgia's viewing area. So Buena Vista, heavy rain. And this is the only area right now that has severe weather component to it that could be potentially damaging. But the good news is with the technology, we're seeing it cycle earlier. This complex storm that we're seeing started in Marion County. If you're just joining us, we did have a confirmed weak tornado. From what we saw, it was a weak tornado confirmed. It descended and it lifted back up and it cycled a little bit, which means it's there and it's not there. It comes in and out of the sky, it drops down, funnel cloud, and then it's back down to the surface again. And what we have left over on the back edge of this is still some strong energy with some thunderstorm winds. It looks like it's bowing a little bit now, not so much that TVS anymore. So, which was rotation. We see the winds kind of moving in one direction, at least from the radar reflectivity, pretty heavy rain. And you can see it leveling out just a little bit, but it wants to spin south of the polygon. Golly, Leslie, you're okay, but it's to the north of you. You just wonder how much of that's just going to keep going. It's going to keep staying in Sumter County. It just doesn't want to leave.
What it seems like it's trying to do is it's trying to position itself into a better environment. And I think that's what we've been seeing because at first it was near Ellaville and then it kept going south. It really wants to be in that warm, moist air, because if you think about it, the storms up to the north are most likely disrupting it just a little bit. And these locations too have temperatures that are in the 80s. We have middle 80s. It has not rained. South of Columbus, we have been untouched. The atmosphere is pretty primed. So that's one of the reasons why I think that we keep seeing this dip more south and with the rotation. And so it is something that we'll have to continue to monitor, especially when we get that main source of energy coming in with that outflow boundary that we saw out in Auburn. Once that continues to push south, if it can interact and kind of fire anything up down here. But I'll zoom in a little closer, and yeah, you can see that it looks like the storm is just really trying to position itself into a better environment. But then also too, it's looking likely too that we have multiple locations where we're having just little broad areas of rotation.
And this being Macon County, Nicole, this still Sumter County we're watching. Is it starting to still continue? It may create a little bit of a spin up here. If you're in the areas of Lamar Road in eastern portions east of Lamar, even in Lamar, I would kind of hunker down. I would, stay with us here. Folks in Lamar saying it's looking pretty nasty out there. Well, it is. You got a strong rotation that's happening here. So I think we need to stay on this. And it's good that it's not rotating, but we have to stay with it because at any time this thing could tighten up and produce a tornado. And this energy to the east part of this is out in Macon County. So we could still focus here. And we still got a lot of residents here. So you guys over north of Lamar, in the Lamar area, as far south as Lamar Road in Sumter County, which is eastern Sumter County. We were once in extreme northeastern. We're slowly moving down with the system. And we will watch the back edge of it. And as Nicole said, it's very prime farther south. It's very humid. It's very, very, very warm. So for the rest of this afternoon, we're under a tornado watch. So if you're watching here, you're under a tornado watch on News 3, especially all counties south of Columbus, especially once these storms come down, and even north of Columbus too. Some of our northern counties like Chambers, and I think Troop and Meriwether some of them are starting to expire up in the areas north as that whole line comes through. Later this evening, everything's going to kind of clear out, and everybody's going to be like, "Yay, it's done." No, there's still more because the front's going to stall out in the overnight at 3 to about daybreak tomorrow. We have another round coming through that could be a little bit different because we've got an area low pressure that's forming out towards the west, and that could really drive these storms in the overnight. So as soon as you think you're done with this, realize tomorrow morning early we're weather aware again. So stay with the First Alert Weather Team on that as well. So now that that's moving out of here, and hopefully sooner rather than later, there's nothing on here that has me concerned back around Maracus, or should we see how that's as it's drifting south? It still looks like it's just strong gusty winds.
Yeah.
Probably 20. When you see this kind of maybe 20-mile-an-hour wind gust, so you could feel a good gust there. And that's sometimes a weakened branch or something could snap on that. That's what these thunderstorms do. A lot of them do that. And unfortunately, some of them, as we saw today with the momentum, it causes them to rotate more and spin a tornado. Buena Vista, seeing some strong winds coming out of that thunderstorm complex as well. These are not severe right now. Sly County, they're not severe. Just some pretty heavy rainfall here and some thunderstorms all the way through Rupert. Once you get in Taylor County, Georgia, our Skywatcher Buffalo Simon is right about here. You just text me and he says, "Bob, it came down so hard and you couldn't even see." So it's just leaving that area. Talbotton, still more showers and storms. Those are coming in from the southwest to kind of lift to northeast. And Harris County getting a dose of rain today. I mean, this is your second heavy round. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing some flash flooding in here. If you're in Pine Mountain, a lot of these secondary roads, all the way down to Waverly Hall, Ellerslie area. We can even see Fortson on here. So a good chunk of central from Pine Mountain Valley, even, I didn't even include you, in southeast, we're going to have to watch for flash flooding. Lee County, the same thing. We're seeing that those outflow winds that came out, that little line that we drew here, look at that. Look how quick that rain filled right in behind it. That's how strong that air is moving out. So that is moving in a direction that's not conducive of a tornado development, but it is very reminiscent of seeing not only some torrential flooding, flash flooding, but it does have the potential of producing some damaging wind with it. If you're in Crawford, Ladonia, Smith Station, strong gusty winds, and they will include Phoenix City and Columbus, Georgia as well. We'll be seeing some real heavy rain and some strong gusts. Fort Davis area, you guys are just seeing thunderstorm activity moving towards Hurtsboro into Russell County. That's western Russell County. If you're down in Bullock County, Union Springs, just a thunderstorm. That's moving into northern Barber here within the next 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, so there we go. We're looking at that. Getting power outages now, Nicole.
Okay.
Our producers, I'm doing a queue here on air. Our viewers listen to us. Producers, if you could check Georgia Power, Diverse Power, and Tallapoosa, Alabama. Just give us some power updates. We're getting a lot of power outages up in the Hamilton area. People without power. So hopefully we're live streaming here to let you know if you lose power. Well, okay, we're on News 3, WRBL.com. You can't get us on News 3. You can easily get us right now, right there at WRBL.com. We're streaming live right now on Facebook, WRBL Facebook, if you have that on your mobile device. If it gets more tumultuous, and I would say our friends too, our radio partners, PNB Broadcasting, Q107.3 FM, keep that locked today too. We're not over yet. This is still ongoing. We still got to serve all our counters from Stewart all the way down to Clay Quitman, Randolph, even parts of Webster, not leaving you out of it. I said Stewart and back over in Bullock and Pike, Alabama as well. How many county line? 1,000 you said? We have 1,000 without power now, County Line Road. I wonder storm reports. I don't think anybody's reporting yet. Just seen these outages are likely coming from a couple. I would suspect that seeing the nature of these storms, we obviously have toppled trees on power lines. So there's some hazards there on County Line Road. The other thing I'm going to say too, schools are getting out. I'm not getting any reports yet from the Harris County school system because there's a lot of rural school districts are going to have some issues. Probably going to be, make sure you check in with your local schools. I would also advise this, with 1,000 out on County Line Road, moms, if you're listening, I know you first thing you want to get to the babies, you want to get to the school, go pick them up. Be safe. Talk to the school. They'll communicate via Remind. We always say that, do not panic. It's worse to have you out on the road. Your kids are safe if they're at school right now. Now Hamilton's reporting under 500 without power, 465 to be exact at this time. So more power outages are starting to really erupt from these thunderstorms that came through first. So this area here now seeing heavier rain and even stronger gusts. So now this is a power outage situation, likely a lot of downed trees and power lines. That's what we worry about, and that's a hazard. And even though a lot of these powers, as you know, they generate the way the power companies are, and linesmen are heroes, they do a wonderful job. It'll shut the line down, but sometimes some of those lines could be hot. So never get anywhere near a down power line, just call 911, or you could go to your power company's website, and even if you have social media, they appreciate that as well. You could become electrocuted easily. But again, that's what we're seeing. So we're going to be seeing tonight on News 3 probably a whole bunch of down trees here. And that has been, Nicole, that's been a history. Despite all the tornadoes we've seen, which are horrible, and up in Nashville, up in the Midwest, it has been mainly trees falling down. More people are injured by trees falling down than tornadoes, and injured or killed from trees that topple over. And a lot of people, the tornadoes get all the glory, and you don't want that, and that's important. But storms itself are a hazard, and this is our big hazard we're seeing right now, a lot of down trees. We still have to watch this line. As it descends south, it's going to create more and more energy farther south, too. So from Fort Moore to Casita now, Casita, Georgia, not Alabama, which we say Caseta. A lot of people like that clarification. This is Chattahoochee County, moving into the Buena Vista area. Buena Vista we'll watch too, because it's not, I'm surprised that you haven't had any power issues out here yet. Some of you tap on that same grid, plus the areas here have been seeing some real strong winds in Buena Vista. So that was from that tornado that was confirmed that moved off to the east. So just a quick recap, the tornado that's in Sumter County is over. There's no warning in the News 3 viewing area. Tornado warning, so that's the good news. So tornado warnings are gone out of our area now. We have thunderstorms that are significant. These are all significant thunderstorms. What does that mean? Just because they're not severe, they're producing strong winds, potentially up to 40 to 45 miles per hour, that have been toppling over trees. So that's what we're seeing right now across East Alabama, West Central Georgia, and this is all east, northeast of that. We're going to be tracking this here. Nicole wants to keep an eye all the way out to Stewart County. In fact, all the way out to Webster County, Georgia, from the Alabama side, northern parts of Barber and southern Russell. Tell us about that.
Yeah, just tracking this storm here, not severe. but it does have winds up to about 40 miles per hour and pea-sized hail. So it is moving to the east at about 55 miles per hour. So Batesville, Omaha, eventually into Richland, if it can hold together, it will be in there within the next 30 to 45 minutes. But again, this isn't severe, but it's just an indication that some of these storms, they are very strong. They do have the strong winds, which is kind of why we are starting to see the power outages because of these storms having the strong winds, but then also the pea-sized hail, which really we haven't had many reports on, especially with that tornado, the storm that had the tornado warning on. But we are starting to get some hail reports here with this storm right over Union Springs and now into Midway. But you can see heavy rain as well. And then even the one, Fort Davis, near Hurtsboro, seeing some heavy rain and maybe even some small hail.
So that would be a flash flooding situation in here. Right now, the immediate threat that we know of, even with that confirmed tornado that came through, we haven't had any damage on a confirmed tornado. A quick wrap up, we have no warnings right now. All the severe warnings are out. We're under significant weather advisories. We're looking at the threat of more downed trees toppling over on power lines. We have 1,000 out on a County Line Road area. That is Muskogee County, by the way, but County Line does wrap right here in the southeast part of Harris County. So if you're in that area, you could be seeing some issues there. Stay with News 3 on mobile, WRBL.com. And we also are seeing about just under 500, 465 last report up in the Hamilton, Georgia area as well without power. That would probably include the Hamilton courthouse area, probably Harris County High School. We got a lot of businesses around there, so you know what I'm talking about. So that, the Hamilton, right up through there as Nicole has. And so pay attention to that. So so you can't get a hold of any kids or loved ones. Don't try to get out there. If there's any hazards on the road, that makes it harder for our first responders. They have to go help you out when they need to be taking care of the problems. That is what we're seeing now. That's our scope. Some down trees, although we haven't seen it confirmed, but I'm just by these reports, I could guarantee we're going to see that. And we're looking at heavy rain as well. So what we're going to do right now, once we see these severe storms, the tornado warning that continues outside of Sumter is not impacting News 3. That is going into the Macon, Georgia area. We're going to hold off this. We are monitoring this. We are staying live at WRBL.com. We were first to tell you about this on Monday, that this would be an active day, and into tomorrow morning, too. It's not over yet. So if you're wondering, is it done for the rest of the day? No, it's not. We still have to get the rest of this line to come all the way down into counties that are suitable, I'll use that word, for more storm activity, and we got to keep an eye on it. So the First Alert Weather Team is tracking us for the remainder of this afternoon, and once we get a break this evening this will be gone, but tomorrow morning in the overnight, it kicks right back up again with quite a force because the physical front will be right overhead. So stay with the First Alert Weather Team. We're on your side with that on News 3 at 5 all the way to 6:30. Or if we have to come back, we will for you as we monitor the storms in East Alabama. That's our next focus. Stay with us and have a safe afternoon.